All right, happy Monday, everybody. It is August 14th, 2023, and I am going to do this quickly and hopefully succinctly. I'm going to show you some pretty invaluable things tonight, and I'm going to do it quick. I can't believe I'm doing this for free for now. And let's go. Here's the S&P 500. We had a big bullish candle today. Is this a reversal? I don't know yet. I think we're getting there, but um, yeah, so that's that. Here it is on the hourly chart on the right, daily chart in the middle, and the weekly chart on the left. So I would expect a deeper pullback. However, we are pretty oversold really on both of these. The True Momo indicator, I was kind of expecting to get it all the way down, but if it turns and it didn't make it all the way down, that is pretty bullish for the overall markets. So this is the S&P, and that's probably the most important chart. Let's look at this. And I showed this over the weekend, but this is the 15-minute, 30-minute. This is the thing I was saying. This is pretty important. The 1 hour and the 4 hour. These are basically, the segments of intraday price action that you could have. So you can see that these trends develop from the inside out. This thing turned green, and it's turning green, and it's just turning green on the 1 hour chart, and it's not green yet on the 4 hour. This is where I'm saying I think we're getting to a point where we can turn. Now, as soon as it turns on the 4 hour, I'd expect the 15-minute to actually plunge, and the question is going to be is do we plunge and then do we continue to plunge and plunge and plunge, or do we plunge here and then recover the whole time while maybe this thing stays green but basically goes sideways while this can continue to go green and be sideways while this goes, this thing can just be up for a little bit while the rest of these things recover. And if you watch this long enough, I mean, this is literally how it works both directions. Like literally back here, it went red, and this thing went red, and this thing went red, and then that one went red. Now we're just turning it around. Now, is it really this simple? Yes. I'm not going to show that for all these charts, but I wanted to show it there. So, one more, and we look at this. Here's the McClellan oscillators. And I want you to look at pivots. So, this is a potential pivot here where my crosshairs are, and that's higher than the last pivot, and that's higher than the pivot before it, higher than the pivot before it, and higher than the pivot before it, or maybe these two, and then these two here. This is the lowest of those pivots. So if we don't come down and start putting in, I mean, this could still come up and put in a lower high, and then we could go lower from there. That would be, that would be problematic for the markets. But we're also oversold on both of these. This one's down around 200. And yeah, that was really it. There's nothing else. This is pretty simple, really. Yeah. So that's the S&P. Let's look at the Dow. Pretty sideways today. A little candle. We are green, green, and green again. This one's been a little choppy on the 1 hour. This is what I'm talking about. You can chop back and forth on the 1 hour and maintain on the daily, and you can do that on the intraday charts as well. The whole time coiling up, basically right here. That looks like a flag pattern, pennant pattern, whatever you want to call it. It's a it's a coil, it's a spring, and it's going to eventually pop out of the spring in one direction or the other, and typically it's going to pop out the way it came in. So it came in up, went sideways. I'm expecting it to pop out to the upside, and we will just have to continue to monitor it. There's no guarantee of that. The Russell has pulled back into the gold line here. It doesn't mean a whole lot because at this point the longer term stop is the light blue line, and we'll watch. The Russell right now is not leading to the upside yet, and it's problematic. So It'd be nice if this thing would start taking off, and then we could start maybe taking off for these 52-week highs that are up here. Although we are still bullish on the weekly over here. The Nasdaq, it actually got some strength today. However, we're still not really bullish across the board on the hourly chart. So until we get bullish on the hourly chart, we can't really be too bullish on the daily yet. The weekly is still bullish though. Oil, let's pull up the futures contract, and we did turn red here. We are green on price over here, but we're red on these moving average indicators. And I'm expecting, and I've talked about this, a potential buy the dip kind of a moment coming up here sometime soon. All right, transports. They actually went quite a bit lower today, and we actually had a short position on IYT that stopped out for a profit in a good way today, so that's pretty neat. And now I'm looking really for the bounce, so it's really similar to the regular Dow. All right, and then let's flip over to the bullish percent indexes. This is the Dow, unchanged. The NYA, down 2.11%. The transports, unchanged. It's a lot of O's here lately, although we've been back and forth a little bit. The Nasdaq put in a fresh column of O's today. Down 1.5% for the day. The SPX down 1.78%. It should be noted these things aren't like down 12% or 4.5%, at least not right now. So they're kind of like they're moving, but they're not moving too much. They're not out of control. The OEX, which is the S&P 100, up 1.54%, so that's showing possibly a little bit of strength under the hood. And then the NDX, we actually tacked on a new O today to the downside, but it ended up moving 0, which means it came down and pulled back up where it left on Friday. So that's interesting. All right, and then finally our automatic trading systems. This is the YM for the day. Not a whole lot of movement, which is fine. The Russell had one bullish trade today, and then the Nasdaq actually sloughed off a little bit. So that's what I got for you. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Take care, guys. Good trading, and have a great night.